Tropical Storm Danny, which has just formed off the east coast of South Carolina and Georgia, and is currently a tropical storm. Was a tropical depression earlier today, but has since been upgraded to Tropical Storm Danny. Current winds of 45 miles per hour or 40 knots with a pressure of 1,009 millibars. Current movement at west-northwest at 16 miles per hour or 14 knots. Current watches and warnings that are in effect are a tropical storm warning for South Carolina, and that is currently the only warning in effect, and there's currently no watches in effect either for this storm. Taking a look at that track, my expected track and intensity guidance, I keep it as a 45 mile per hour storm, although I do see that there being a possibility of this potentially even getting up to 50 miles per hour before making landfall and slowly dissipating over North America. Taking a look at the sea surface temperatures, it was in that red area briefly, which is likely one of the reasons that it was able to quickly develop like it did. It is currently just leaving that orange area at this current moment in time and is about to head into the yellow, but that should not really affect it considering that it's still on the slightly above average scale, so it could still get another 5 miles per hour, potentially maybe even 10. That would be at the very most, though 10 is unlikely at this point. Taking a look at that wind shear, it is kind of bordering. It's more of in the neutral at the moment. It was in the green about a day ago, but it's kind of bordering the neutral wind shear at the moment, kind of in the middle of that. It's kind of in that yellow area, in the middle of the green and the red, favoring more towards the red, which could be why it's not quite developing as fast as it was anymore. Taking a look at that potential rainfall, I do not see this being too bad of a rainmaker, at least in my eyes, considering how fast it's moving and how small it is. But I do see the potential for up to potentially 4, maybe even 5, 6 inches of rain in the Carolinas and Georgia. Looking at the potential damage index, currently a stage 2 for South Carolina, with a potential of 45 to 50 mile per hour winds, a surge of up to 3 feet, and rainfall of up to 7 inches in these areas. Taking a look at that potential damage index areas, you see that lime green. That is where the impacts will likely be the worst out of any location. And then you see that blue, which is where you could see some pretty heavy rain, some strong winds, and potentially some water rising due to surge in the coastal areas of that blue. Taking a look at the surge, I think that it is likely that it will be in the 1 to 2 feet, as, of course, there is going to be surge with the storm. I'd say that it's somewhat likely that we could get maybe 3, possibly even 4 feet of surge. 4 feet is unlikely, though, from the system on South Carolina, maybe even Georgia and North Carolina. But I do not see it getting past that 5-foot threshold. If it does, it would surprise me very greatly, although you never really know with these storms. Looking at the rain, I see at most 8 inches from this storm, and that would be at the very most. I do think there's a very slight potential that we could get even 9, 10 inches, but I do think that is a very slight at the moment. And the other areas are highly unlikely and would surprise me greatly, like the previous ones, if it got to those areas. Looking at the wind, I'm giving it a high chance of getting to 45 miles per hour because it is already there, and a yellow because it's kind of a 50-50 toss-up of whether it will get to that 50 before it makes landfall, which would put it into that next category. But anything above that is just unrealistic at this point. Thank you guys for watching Update 1 on Tropical Storm Danny. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to keep up to date with this 2021 Atlantic hurricane season, which is looking quite active considering with the formation of Tropical Storm Danny, we have tied 2020's pace at the moment. They were at Dolly. On July 4th, we had Tropical Storm Edward form in the Atlantic in 2020. And Invest 95L is still out there with a 40% chance marked by the NHC. So it'll be interesting to see if that'll form and potentially keep us tied with 2020 on pace going into July. But thank you guys for watching and signing off.